Of course, none of this happens without great leadership, and the people of Nigeria spoke with a loud voice in the last election, and it's my pleasure now to introduce the leader they selected, President Muhammadu Buhari, to speak with you. Please join me in welcoming him.
Your Excellencies, Secretary Pritzker, Mayor Bloomberg, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be present here today at the second edition of the United States Africa Business Forum. I wish to thank the United States Department of Commerce and Bloomberg Philanthropies for organizing this event and for giving me this opportunity to address this August gathering of political and business leaders from the United States of America, Africa, and other regions of the world. I believe all of us will take advantage of this forum to establish and strengthen business relationships, share valuable experience, and collaborate for mutual benefits. For the benefit of our prospective partners new to Nigeria, let me briefly tell you about my country. It is a nation of about 180 million people, which means an abundance of labor. We are blessed with arable land, forests, water, oil and gas, solid minerals, livestock, and great tourist potential. Many of these economic sectors have barely been exploited. There is, therefore, tremendous potential for the foreign investment and for the local economy. The United States has historically been one of Nigeria's main trading partners. For decades, the United States was the biggest importer of Nigeria's crude oil. In the last 2 years, however, the sharp decline in United States imports of our crude on account of rising domestic production of shale has altered the trade balance between our two countries. But it has also thrown up opportunities for Nigeria to increase its non-oil exports, especially in agricultural products to the United States. But Nigeria enjoys a long and mutually beneficial trade and investment relations with the United States of America. This relationship has culminated in massive inflow of foreign direct investments into Nigeria. There are several United States companies doing business in Nigeria, including ExxonMobil, Chevron, General Electric, IBM, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Pepsi Company, British American Tobacco Company, UPS, Korea Company, BCG, Johnson Wax Nigeria Limited, Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, to name a few. Furthermore, Nigeria shares with America the democratic culture with respect to the rule of law in business and commercial intercourse. These are no doubt challenging times for the Nigerian economy, but let me use this opportunity to boldly affirm our conviction that there is no crisis without an accompanying opportunity. In our case, We see Nigeria's ongoing economic challenges, occasioned mainly by the fall in oil prices, as an opportunity to set the economy firmly on the path of true diversification, sustainable economic growth, and shared prosperity. Since the inception of this administration in 2015, major efforts have been aimed at ensuring that Nigerians enjoy rising standards of living. We campaigned for and came into office on the back of three fundamental issues. One, securing Nigeria from terrorism and banditry. Two, fighting corruption and ensuring that public funds work for the public good. And three, revamping an economy that was dangerously dependent on crude oil and afflicted by rising inequality and jobless growth. We are pleased to note that our efforts are yielding fruit. On security, hundreds of communities and thousands of people have been liberated from the clutches of terrorists under our watch and are now getting a chance with support from the government and the international community to rebuild their homes and their lives. On corruption, our quest is to ensure, through a combination of institution building and judicial efforts, that public funds work for public good, and that persons responsible for overseeing the use of these funds come to this task with the utmost sense of transparency and accountability. Earlier this year, we signed up to the Open Government Partnership, a clear demonstration of our commitment to a radical departure from a past characterized by large-scale state-sponsored corruption. Let me also assure these audiences that we still continue to strengthen government institutions established to address investors' concerns. On the economy, we are wearing ourselves from a historical dependence on crude oil, diversifying our economy, and putting it on the path of sustainable and inclusive growth. To this end, we have embarked on policies aimed at establishing an open, rules-based, and market-oriented economy. We will continue to actively engage with the private sector at the highest level to listen to your concerns and to assure you of our commitment to creating enabling policies in which your businesses can survive and thrive. Indeed, we have constituted a Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council headed by Vice President Professor Yemi Oshunbanjo, which is working on a wide range of business environment reforms, ranging from making our planned visa on arrival regime a reality, to force reform, to improving the speed and efficiency of land tilling and business registration. We aspire to make Nigeria one of the most attractive places to do business. Let me now focus on the priority investment sectors for our administration: infrastructure, industry, agriculture, mining, and the digital economy. Infrastructure. For far too long, Nigeria has underinvested in the critical infrastructure necessary for a modern economy. Now, that is set to change. We are working hard to bridge an electricity deficit of several thousand megawatts, which will require substantial private sector investment, especially in transmission. Our railway system is being opened up after decades of government monopoly that has hindered the needed private sector investment. We are well on course with a concessioning deal that will see General Electric take over hundreds of kilometers of existing rail assets and invest billions of dollars to upgrade assets and services. On industry, there is the Nigerian Industrial Plan that has come into force. The implementation is directly at intervention to improve productivity and output in 5 industrial groups, namely agro-businesses and agro-allied solid minerals and metals, oil and gas, construction, and light manufacturing. Currently, investments and partnerships are being directed to leather and leather products, sugar, palm oil processing, food processing, especially tomato and fruit processing. Automobile assembly and manufacturing are important to the diversification of the Nigerian economy. Industrial zones and parks are being established. This is work in progress. American, indeed, other foreign investors are invited to come and avail themselves of the opportunities we are creating. In agriculture, through our agricultural promotion policy, we are prioritizing the improvement in domestic production of rice, wheat, maize, fish, dairy milk, soya beans, poultry, fruit and vegetables, and sugar, as well as the export of cowpeas, cocoa, cashew, cassava, starch chips and ethanol, ginger, sesame oil, palm oil, fruits and vegetables, groundnuts, and cotton. To achieve these goals, we are ready to partner with and support willing private investors by creating an environment that is stable, safe, and competitive. I am pleased to note that Coca-Cola has recently invested substantially in one of Nigeria's best-known dairy and fruit companies and is looking to increase its stake over the next 5 years. In mining, Nigeria is determined to build a world-class minerals and mining ecosystem designed to serve a targeted domestic and export market. To accomplish this, we are prioritizing exploration, local processing of our mineral assets with provision of generous incentives, including favorable tax regimes and royalties to investors interested in our market. While we have, as part of this, identified mineral resources which exist in commercially viable quantities and designated them as strategic priorities for Nigeria's domestic industrialization and infrastructure requirements. At the same time, we are not unmindful of environmental concerns and safety and welfare of miners. The Nigerian Communications Commission will shortly commence a licensing process for the deployment of broadband infrastructure across metropolitan areas in the country. Young Nigerians are increasingly demonstrating that they have the talent and the passion to leverage the digital economy for solving our most pressing challenges. We are seeing a lot of activity in this space, and not just in Lagos, but even in cities far afield, from Uyo to Abuja. There are currently 150 million active mobile phone lines in the country, 60% of which are connected to the internet. I can confidently say that Nigeria is in the early stages of a domestic technology revolution, and the government is paying serious attention and offering its full support. 3 weeks ago, I hosted Mr. Zuckerberg, the founder and chief executive of Facebook, which is now used regularly by 17 million Nigerians, more people than in any other country in Africa. A few months ago, Mr. Zuckerberg invested $24 million in Andela, a technology company that has Len Abiyomi, a Nigerian, a 25-year-old one at that, as one of its co-founders, and maintains its main campus in the city of Lagos. On the same day that Mr. Zuckerberg visited, I also welcomed and interacted with 30 of the most exciting technology startups in the country, among whom lie tomorrow's billion-dollar corporations. Nigeria is keen to move effectively, leverage the African growth and opportunities to boost exports to the United States market. In collaboration with the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, we have developed a response strategy to boost exports under this act. I urge the American businesses present here to take advantage of the investment opportunity that Nigeria represents. Nigeria remains the #1 investment destination in Africa, with total foreign direct investment inflow of about United States dollars 3.64 billion in 2015. Apart from our domestic market, the largest in Africa, we are also the main gateway to a combined West African consumer market that is about as large as ours, with a median age of 19 and with 70% the population below the age of 36. Nigeria's greatest potential lies in the talent and energy of its youth. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that the economic benefits of our trade and investment relations with the United States and other partners are unambiguous. In order to encourage private capital inflow, we have packaged some fiscal investment incentives, which include the following: up to 5 years of tax holiday for activities classified as foreigner, tax-free operations, no restrictions on expatriate quota in free trade area zones, capital allowances, agriculture, manufacturing, and engineering, a low VAT regime of 5%, among others. Let me use this opportunity to announce the commencement of the latest in the series of bilateral engagements between the United States and Nigeria. The United States-Nigeria Commercial and Investment Dialogue. This dialogue, which will focus on infrastructure, agriculture, the digital economy, investment, and regulatory reform will be jointly led by the Nigerian Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, and the United States Commerce Secretary, and will include businesses, executives from both countries. By strengthening existing trade and investment lies between our two countries, as well as operating up new vistas. It will complement the work currently being done by the United States Binational Commission, the United States-Nigeria Trade and Investment Framework, and similar initiatives. We very much look forward to the mutual benefits that will accrue from this dialogue. On this note, I enjoin investors here today to take advantage of this forum to establish links that would translate to increased trade and investment flows between Nigeria, United States of America. Nigeria welcomes you. I wish you a fruitful deliberation, and thank you very much.